always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
All right, traders, welcome to Make HOAG Money. I'm looking forward to seeing what we've got going on here. The market's in kind of an important level here. I want to get through this opening as quickly as possible. That's me. I've been around the block a few times. This is the CFTC disclaimer. Everything we do here is for educational purposes only. This is a live account. It is my account, but you guys are making the calls on the decisions. Of course, we will be watching well, of course, past performance is never indicative of future results. Let's get to the rules for Make HOAG Money. Of course, kindness and respect are respected above everything. There's always differences of opinions when it comes to markets. You know, a couple of people unable to speak. If you want to, that's wonderful. Always good to have some company here. We're all going to be involved in the decisions, and of course, context is helpful. We're going to use the chat rooms on YouTube and in the Zoom meeting to discuss trades. Only those in the Zoom meeting will have the opportunity to vote. However, we're going to focus on the MES for opportunities. We're not going to trade just to trade. We're not taking losing trades. Of course, that's a joke. We know that losses are part of trading. We just have to accept them, cut them, and move on. And feedback for Make HOAG Money is, of course, vital and appreciated. Here's the platform. Where are we here? We are basically right at the the gap close. We are really setting up a nice little ledge here on this low. The market having trouble getting through here. I see that Zach is saying, buy it, buy it. Good afternoon, Vince. Anybody wants to join me and chat, just let me know. You can either chat me or you can raise your hand. Whatever you want to do is fine. Do we look for opportunities here? I mean, do we look at this gap close here as support? Do we look at it as an opportunity for continuation to the downside? Market having trouble here. We've got, let's see here, minus 5,000 in Delta. This is presenting wrong here on the MES. Here's the 30-minute. Okay, so there's our delta. We've got some negative delta. The market trying to move lower. Is it doing a good job? Looking for anybody who wants to chat today. Just let me know. Welcome, everybody. I see Naztec Gear, Robert, Pershatam, and Always Rised. Going down, Always Rise says. It's good to see everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Vince, good afternoon. Zach, good afternoon. Good to see you. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's Monday early. Nobody wants to chat? Anybody have any trade ideas? We got Zach saying bye, bye, bye. We got Always Rise saying going down. Ashok, hello. No ideas here. JT still on the sidelines for step 2. Maybe long. All right, we're going to try that. We're going to come down right to 40.50 for our stop on that. William thinks 40.90, 40.49 will hold. Maybe we'll move our stop a little bit further. So we're in for a long here. And I'm for reals. I way over traded, so I'm going to keep quiet. Okay, understood. Understood. Looking for a long at 51. Nasdaq doesn't really like it. Always Rise said you should go short now. Hey, Joe, how are you? Joe, you want me to send the link to get into Make HOAG Money? This is for everybody, as a matter of fact. If you'd like to join us in the Zoom meeting, you're welcome to. Here's the link to register. Good afternoon, Joe. Market's really been struggling to continue to push to the downside. We see negative delta and the value is still higher on the day, higher overall from Friday. Don't know what's going to happen here. Nothing on JT's charts until 4037 for a demand zone, 4037. This area here, the afternoon pullback from Friday 34. It's a level I was interested in earlier to see. ASHOC, we're long at 4053.50. And Kale Trader, notice that before a Kapow FOMC or the chat, the IB range gets taken out on both sides on Mondays and Tuesdays, which is true for today. We got the IB taken out higher earlier. We have the IB taken out lower now, which, in generally speaking terms, gives the market the tendency to remain range bound for the rest of the session. What is the logic behind going long? Is it a gap close? Low volume node, low volume zone. Exactly. Got a long way to go before we get back up into value. But yeah, this is not a lot of volume here on Friday, of course. Kind of an attenuation of volume to the downside here. You got it, Joe. No problemo, sir. I'm for real, says Meltdown. Well, it could happen, but we know what our risk is. There's our stop. This week is going to be kind of strange, I think. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got no major economic information tomorrow. Wholesale inventories, preliminary is it, but Powell speaks tomorrow at 9. Powell speaks on Wednesday at 9 Central Time. We do have international trade at 7:30 on Wednesday. EIA petroleum status report, JOLTS, job opens, labor turnovers on Wednesday as well. But a lot of the focus is going to be on the Fed speak this week, and then the unemployment numbers due out on Friday. So we're kind of off in the wind, looking for anything that's going to help us look for good opportunities. And we are looking at this gap close as a potential area where, at the very least, whoever was mentioning that's a gap close, Joe, it lets us limit risk. It lets us limit the risk. William Powell. there's going to be much movement. Here we go, Zachary says. Well, we'll see how this plays out, right? A-Shock, we're long at, you can see right here, 40, 53.50. We've got a little anomaly right up here at, oh, it looks like 40, 59.75. That's not a very confident feature of this profile if it's to the downside. Well, for Make HOAG Money, JT, we've been just kind of doing one or two micros. The point is not necessarily to make or risk a lot of money. It's just see what we can figure out here with one or two contracts. Where is the target on that long? That's a really good question. William. Zach says 60. That's that little anomaly. William says 5 to 6 points is about all he sees. 65, Daniel says. 73, Vince says. I like the aggression there, Vince. We're just going to see how this plays. We know we've got our risk in. Risking about 6 points. So I'd like to see more than just 5 or 6 points of profit on this. I don't know if it's going to get it, but we have that opportunity. 40.65 session mid RTH VWAP. Where is that VWAP? $40.63, $40.64. Nobody wants to chat, huh? I think we'll probably see my brother Randolph, Matt Hoyt, tomorrow morning. Randolph doesn't often make the afternoon sessions. He's probably off doing something. Liquid lunch, that's entirely possible, yes. Well, thank you, Kale. This voice, I think, is a function of yelling at the top of my lungs for 20 years in the trading pits. Well, that should be comforting for you, Kale. Yeah, this seems to be kind of hanging around down here, doesn't it? Isolated time frame, lower highs and lower lows, breaking through 40.60 on the way up may be a good move, but not if it will probably circle back down. Well, we didn't even quite get there. We got up to 58. And we're still kind of hanging around here. My thought is, whenever I'm thinking about taking a trade, I don't want price to spend a lot of time there. Wow, look at us, we're getting crushed. Hey, Joe, you don't have to. Well, I appreciate it, though.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, hey, Joe, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
You sounded lonely.
I know, I was. Nobody wanted to take nobody wanted to chat. Now we're putting in a new low here. I don't know what we want to do here. What are you thinking, Joe?
Yeah, I don't like this. It's coming down on huge deltas, negative deltas.
Mm-hmm.
Big trade at. You've got a big level of liquidity, 51 to 49. Whether that's real or not, we might find out. But price is usually attracted to those levels. But it looks like we might have had a little stop down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's working on that liquidity now.
Well, if it's going to head to that liquidity, which it usually does,
Where's your stop?
47.75. I'm thinking about just pulling it now.
Yeah, I would.
We're out.
And look to reload if we see a good opportunity.
We're out. We're flat now. I think we're just starting to spend a little too much time inside yesterday, or I should say Friday's range. Kale, it will, we may add more to the morning session and then still keep a couple of the afternoon ones. I'm currently hoping by the beginning of April. Hope it won't take that long. Trying to get a few things taken care of in the house here so we can really focus on what's going on.
It's taking out that liquidity. It's not refilling at 51, 50 half.
No.
And liquidity right now that's left is 50 to 50 half, and it's trading there. A lot of volume. It's taking it out. It's staying. It's yeah, it's trading there.
That 50-50 level there just keeps filling back up.
50 refilled. So there is a buyer there.
Mm-hmm.
Usually if it trades that much, it takes it out.
Uh, 41.75 would be an amazing buy. I kind of like this level down here too. 40.34. Boy, it's just dripping down here, isn't it?
Traded 567 contracts at 57.5. But it was absorbed.
Mm-hmm.
Because that liquidity did not go away.
Mm-hmm. Finally, maybe we've got some buyers down there.
Well, they stayed in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Traded a lot, but they stayed in the book.
Well, on that idea, I took a long, and we'll see what happens here. But I'm not gonna stay with this too long. I want to see. I don't want this area to spend a lot of time, and it's spending too much time. So what do you think Chairman Powell is going to say on Tuesday and Wednesday?
I think he's going to be hawkish.
He's speaking in front of what Senate on Tuesday and the House on Wednesday.
Right.
How what accommodating do you think the members of Congress are going to be to the good Chairman Powell?
Not very.
It's all his fault, right, Joe?
Thomas. Yeah. They're going to blame somebody.
Yep.
Well, we have a good band of liquidity here at 54 that just came in the book, and that liquidity at 50 is still there.
So they got us cornered, Joe.
Got us bracketed.
They got us cornered. He's going to say things that make him more right. Powell's going to say higher for longer. Everybody's saying that already, aren't they?
Yeah. A big thin spot is when we have that liquidation break. Price gap from 55 to 52 3/4. So that's a thin spot, and that's right where that liquidity is at 54. If we can get through there, I think you might get a pretty good run. It'll be interesting to see whether they pull that liquidity or whether it trades.
Whether it stays.
Yeah. So we're 50. We're down there at that 50 level now. Almost.
Always Rise would have had at least 7 points when Always Rise said short. Whoa. Where were you? Just teasing. Always Rised.
Did you trade today?
I did.
Did you trade the ES?
Yeah, I took longs, and I had bigger ideas for them, but something up here near the highs just did not seem right. So I got out, and I've been pretty much flat ever since. I had ideas on you looking for longs here. That didn't work. So right now I'm just chilling. I had a good morning, and I don't want to screw it up at the end of the day.
There was some good trades on the long side. Whoop, there goes another liquidation.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah, it chewed up all that liquidity in one trade. 581 contracts.
And that was at 40.50, right?
79.75. Yeah, now we're looking at 48.5 for liquidity. And that 54 liquidity overhead is still there.
Uh-huh. That's going to come get us. Yo.
Sorry.
That's all right. Hello. Yeah, we got the imbalances coming out here in a little while, so we'll see how this happens. I much prefer the morning sessions to make HOAG money than the afternoon sessions.
Yeah, I do too.
Because if we lose money, most days I can make it all back and then some.
Right. And really late in the day, usually what you're depending on is some sort of a stop run between 3:30 and 4. You know, we do have, from the highs of the day, I assume we have a lot of trapped
Longs.
stops that we can take advantage of if this thing ever gets going. And we have plenty of time, about a half hour.
Yeah.
But you know how those can come around.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fuel, I think, between the highs of the day and where we are right now. But make HOAG money late in the day, that's pretty much all we can count on, I think.
Yeah. Once in a while, we may catch a move, but it's
Yeah.
just kind of winding up the day, cleaning things up.
Yeah, that took that liquidity out. It's just 49.50, and there's some liquidity at 47, 48.50, but it's not thick. Yeah.
Delta negative 3,300. You know, Joe, Delta has been, in my opinion, not very helpful over the last few sessions.
Yeah.
It's been exceedingly positive, so there has been no divergence, which is, you know, what I really look for, is to see if maybe the longer time frame traders are involved, and they just haven't been off these lows. At least according to Delta. And this morning, the open interest on the preliminary for the S&Ps said it was up around 11,000 positive. The final comes up, it's up 2,300. Pretty big miss. That doesn't seem very solid for the upside, to be honest with you. Feels hollow, doesn't it?
Yeah, yes.
Now, I think we're kind of going to be in hurry up and wait for tomorrow and Wednesday with Powell, and then hurry up and wait again with unemployment.
You know, we got a small gap overhead here. You see that around 91? Well, I'm looking at a long term.
Up above.
Yeah. High today was about somewhere around 81, 82. We've got a gap.
Right here.
Small gap.
Right here.
At least I see it anyway. Around 91, 92.
Yeah, up to 90s, 40, 96, 75.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. And depending on what time frame you're looking at, there's a big thin spot right there at 90 all the way up to 41.25.
Yeah, so that's what this was the secondary target for this upside move. Where was the original? It was a weak high up here somewhere. This was the kind of secondary weak high that we're looking for on the upside, 40.90, which takes us to this gap, and then there's another weak high. I don't think this is the micros, so that's why. So here was the first weak high we took care of on Friday. The second weak high here, which is our gap, and then another weak high all the way up here, 40.45, 41.45. So that's with the failure of holding below February's low right here. Those are the targets I'm looking for. Look at this. M period now leaves naked, single prints above. Ain't that a beautiful shooter?
Well, it doesn't feel like we're gonna get that stock down. This doesn't feel like it. This is just steady selling. They just keep taking out every liquidity level.
All right.
Took out another one here at 50.
Yeah, I mean, I'm if this were just me right now, Joe and everybody, I wouldn't be playing.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in what happens if price gets down here.
There's some liquidity right here. It's trading, not thick, but it's some, and then there's three levels below this of liquidity. 44, 45 has got a pretty thick level of liquidity. But what's interesting is that they're not pulling; they're actually buying. These levels are actually absorbing the selling, which is kind of interesting.
I'm still looking for a long in all the wrong places, Joe.
Yeah.
Vince, these markets are whacked. Unfortunately, sometimes we get whacked too. Up, and then down and down.
I don't hear you reference the IB high low. You don't use those as references.
I do. We already discussed the idea that the fact that the IB high was extended and the IB low was extended has a tendency to create rotational trade.
Right. Yeah. It had trouble with the IB high today.
Mm-hmm.
Just had trouble. Made that one big move above it. Came down and traded right at the IB high for quite a while, until finally it gave out. The context changed right there.
Yeah,
Well,
and
as
it's,
you know, I'm not trading now.
right. Which
Fully recovered.
which makes you very clear.
So I do take paper trades, to
Sure.
continue sharpening my style. But it was all longs in the morning, and then that.
And then all shorts in the afternoon.
Changed the context.
Yep.
Boy, how important is it, John, to get the context?
Oh, it's everything.
It's everything. If you don't get that right, you get chopped up. And that's a real skill I'm trying to develop is to get in alignment, I don't trade both ways. I trade one. I decide on what my alignment is, and I trade in that direction. I don't take counter trend trades like this morning. I only take longs.
Well, you were certainly in congruency with context with me on Friday, because you said in On the prep, I'm only looking for longs today, and boy, that was right.
But that is so important. And that's a real skill you've got to get better and better and better at.
Yeah, it's
Now, what were you going on this morning to go to
to look for
trade?
the long this morning.
Yes, what were you looking at?
Well,
That convinced you that was the direction.
I was looking at, well, of course, Friday, the fact that we opened with a gap. We were unable to close the gap. Even taking out the low of the opening range didn't get us to take out the low of that, to take out the gap. So that was viewed as, something that didn't happen that was a positive towards the upside. I did not take the opening range trade to the downside. However, I did take it to the upside when it broke out the top of the opening range. We had a little bit of heat, not much. But then, that was it. That was that move to the upside. And my eventual target, my wishing order was up at 40.90. That's that week high. And when we got up here, I was, in a meeting talking to people about the fact that I really wanted to try and stay in this long, and something about it just said no, and I got out of it. And, I had a couple of small losses looking for opportunities for longs on the way down, but overall, I'm still sitting pretty good and not going to screw that up. Unless I can screw it up here and make HOAG money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the opening without the gap close, the opening range taking out the low and still not taking out the gap close, I thought that was pretty positive.
Yeah. And we opened above value, RTH value.
Mm-hmm.
And of course we had a gap, so we opened up above RTH.
Mm-hmm.
And like you say, it held it.
Until now.
Till now.
Yeah.
Right now we're at the RTH point of control somewhere around 47.
From yesterday?
From Friday.
From Friday? I've got it down here. There's a little anomaly here, 4017.
You've got the PLC at 4017.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, because there's a little anomaly there. Let me make sure. It's a different platform. Yeah, 4017.
I've got value area low there at 4017.
There's just one little anomaly that makes this 5 wide down here.
Huh.
And then off we go to the races. Volume point of controls up here.
That's what I meant.
Volume point. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Yep.
volume point of control.
Sorry.
Is 47. 47, and I just look at the volume point of controls. I don't look at TPOs. And I've got the volume value area low at 617.
Volume value, yes. Yep.
Yeah, right.
Do you think the longer time frame is just sitting on the sidelines these days, Joe?
I do. I think the market is not enough talking about it, but the value of the option trading, especially the zero DTEs, is just absolutely enormous. So I think the option market is influencing trading more than people realize. It's not, the S&P 500 stocks move in the market. It's the auction activity which forces the dealers to take the other side and create these big runs that we see. And so I think the option market is having a major influence. I mean, the notional value of options compared to the notional value of the S&P, the spiders,
Uh-huh.
SPY, and the SPX is enormous. It's like 20%, 25%, and the zero to Z, the zeros have even more influence. You know, they're enormous. You pull up the volume on today or on Friday on the various expirations on the election pit.
Mm-hmm.
It's enormous.
What is
All I can say
what is considered enormous?
a notional value compared to the of like 15-20%. That's a lot, especially since they're short term. Look at Google Don Kaufman and look at his Friday review on YouTube. Pull up Don Kaufman on YouTube and look at his last two Friday reviews, and he goes over the enormity of the auction market and how that influences prices. Because when someone takes one side of the trade, the dealer has to take the other side of the trade, and not only that, but as the market trades, the deltas are dynamic and they change in the dealer's book, and they have to make further adjustments to get that delta neutral. So there's just enormous trade. I mean, Citadel is making so much money. It's just ridiculous.
So when we're talking about actual bad pain in the options, when traders are stuck after they've written options, that's where the real pain is, correct? So if you have a bunch of, let's say, you have a bunch of traders who've written calls below the market, they're short.
Yeah. But the dealers are flat in that. The dealers are the risk. If you sell a big position in calls,
Uh-huh.
the dealer obviously is a buyer of those calls, and what he does is he or she, they go into the futures market and flatten
And adjust, right?
immediately. They have algorithms that are doing this all day long, and they adjust automatically.
And you're getting this off Spot Gamma?
A lot of it on Spot Gamma. I used to follow them. I don't follow it anymore, but it's a tremendous resource. Take a 5-day. I think they have a 5-day free trial, and I recommend trying it out just to get the knowledge of how these options influence the market.
Now you can find out. Now you can find that information on your own.
No, Spot Gamma is the best, but Don Kaufman, his Friday review, if someone's looking for something that's like 20 minutes to understand the influence options are having on intraday trading, that's a good, it's 20-25 minutes. It's worth the take.
Okay.
YouTube Don Kaufman and look at his last 2 or 3 Fridays.
Here it is. I have it for everybody. If everybody wants to check it out.
Yeah, and he's one of the founders. Kaufman's one of the founders of Think or Swim. He and the Tasty Trade crowd.
Oh, okay.
Founded Think or Swim, and then Kaufman went off and started his own thing, and because the other guy,
Theo Trade.
He's got his Theo Trade. That's his site. But his Friday review is worth the price of admission in terms of the influence options.
Thank
and
you.
It's growing. And it's growing dramatically. So getting back to your original comment, I mean, I think that options are having such an influence. It's not the buying and selling of Google and Apple as much as it used to be in the old days.
Uh,
It's what's going on with the hedging with the ES and the NQ, mostly the ES. The dealers don't use NQ to hedge their trades. You know, the dealers, all they're making money on is the spread. They're making a fraction of a penny
right.
on that option trade, and they do it a billion times a day and make a lot of money. Mostly Citadels do it, and you know, their only risk is if their algorithm makes a mistake on getting flat.
Execution risk.
Getting risk neutral. Right. If the algorithm is screwed up. Some of these stock runs you see are the dealers chasing price to get neutral. The markets have changed. They're not being influenced like the old days.
There's just a more and more influences, it seems, right?
More influences, right? Not only do we have normal buying and selling of Apple and Google and so forth that's influencing it, we get all this other stuff going on. It's at least 20-25% of the action, especially probably on an intraday basis, more influence than on a longer term basis.
So where are you getting your information now if it's not on Spot Gamma?
Kaufman.
Okay.
Yeah.
You subscribe to his.
No, I just watch his. I used to subscribe to him. Yeah.
Okay.
But I just listen to his Friday vids,
And that's it. That's what gets you that data, huh?
yeah. But I had a lot of background in my subscription to Spot Gamma for a couple of years. All right, so I'm more aware of the influence from my following Spot Gamma for a couple of years. So I mean, I used to put their levels on my charts and all of that, and they're very, very good levels, SPX levels, and where the concentrations, where the option concentrations are, and it's amazing how they act as support, consistently act as support and resistance. You know, there's a level that's very, very long in calls, and as you get close to it, close to that price, the deltas start going crazy, and the dealers have to get active. And same way on a big level of puts below that.
And
So it's very, very definitely these auctions influence the market.
And obviously we know that delta in options is different than delta in futures.
Right.
Delta is the number of futures contracts you have to execute to even up your options position.
Right.
Delta,
You want these flat deltas.
right. So you want in futures, delta is the number of contracts that trade on the offer versus the bid.
Yeah, right.
The delta in options it seems to be far more complicated.
I know Anne Marie follows
Yes.
that very closely. She's very good and she's very knowledgeable when it comes to the influence options have on the market.
Yeah, she is. I wonder if she's here. She's quiet if she is. Well, I think we're about out of luck for the day right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I won't be able to join you tomorrow morning. I've got my first rehab session, so have good luck. I hope you make a lot of money.
Hey, thank you, and Joe, take care of yourself. Take care of that business.
I will.
All right. Blessings, everybody. Thank you for joining me, Joe. Really appreciate it. And
Yeah, well, you seem lonely. So
yes, I was. I was kind of lonesome there for a little while. And my son's homesick, so the dog hasn't even been hanging around. So,
yeah. He's on the bed with his son, right?
yep,
Yeah, right.
got that right.
Yeah. Well, have good trading tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you everybody for joining me. I'm gonna get prepared to do the reflection here in just a few minutes.
John Holder. He,
Hi.
yeah. Hi, John. I'm leaving you.
All right. Tell her we said hi.
I will.
Blessings, Joe. All
So
right.
do you.
Thank you. And folks, we'll see you. Well, we'll do the reflection here in just a few minutes. But if I don't see you for the market prep and make HOAG Money early session tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Have a great day, everyone.